Well, David, it was such a special night on Tuesday for everyone involved with the football club. Is that the kind of performance and atmosphere that can prove a catalyst now heading back into the league campaign?
We all hope so. It should do, in terms of, as you say, a great night, a great atmosphere. Unfortunately, didn't have the dream ending that we all hoped for, but plenty of positives to take from it. It's important that we do take them positives, because Saturday's a different game against a good side, a side that play in a way that's risk-free. They'll play out, they'll look to build and have good control in the game, and a side that were obviously in the playoffs last season. So a good test for us, a different test, and it will require a different way of playing in order to get us, or try and get us 3 points.
Yeah, you talk about ways of playing, and when you look at the last 2 Tuesdays, you've had to do a lot of defending without the ball, really. Doncaster with 10 men, Leicester on Tuesday. Obviously not a situation you want to be in very often, but how pleased have you been with the defensive discipline your side showed in both of those games?
Yeah, I think it shows with organisation, with communication, with hard work. If you can get into a situation where you do have men behind the ball, it's difficult for teams to score regardless of the quality. What you have to do is make sure that there aren't individual mistakes that potentially give chances away. And listen, that's all we've been guilty of, to be fair, and we've been punished severely for that. So it shows that if that doesn't happen, then you give yourself a better chance. I think we've got to improve at both ends, and time gives you the opportunity to do that, but belief gives you the opportunity to do that as well. I spoke before Tuesday's game with the players around what we'd set up and what we wanted to do, but it was pointless us going out there if we didn't believe that we could win or cause an upset or do what we did. And that'll be the same with every game we go into, regardless of the selection we make, regardless of what game plan we think might be required in order to go and win. We have to go and play with a confidence and play with a belief, and hopefully we take a lot from Tuesday and we can see that at the weekend.
You made 6 changes for the game on Tuesday, elected to rest certain players like Paddy Madden, but it's a temptation there now to stick with some of the players that came in a similar way that you did after the Harrogate game?
Yeah, there's always the temptation, regardless of whether you, like you say, you change a team and you rest some players, because again, I've spoken about giving players opportunity over the first month. They are opportunities. They're not just games where we say, oh, come on, you go and have a game now. With every game we play, there's chances for people to state their claim, and it's their job, as was the case on Tuesday, to make sure that come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever we pick our team, that you can't leave them out based on the performances they've had. So that will remain the case. We've still got to get an element of continuity and settle down in terms of how we want to go, because with that becomes partnerships and understanding and all those bits and bats. But no, people who played on Tuesday certainly have done themselves no harm. What it does do from a management perspective is it reiterates the strength of the squad that we have and the comfort we can take it, and the fact that if we need to use people in certain situations, that we know they can do a good job for us.
You spoke about continuity there. Obviously, that we've seen a lot of different combinations, in particular of that back 3, that back 5 this season. A lot of different combinations used at the back. Is that an area where you'd like a bit more stability going forward, or does it help having different profiles of players for different games?
No, it helps having different profiles, but again, I can sit here very, very safely and say that I wish I'd picked the same back 3, 4, 5 for every game this season, because if that was the case, then although people may have not got opportunities, it wouldn't have been the case, because we made certain changes in certain games with the cup games and whatever else not. But if that was the case, then things would be going absolutely brilliantly, and there wouldn't have been errors made, and there wouldn't have been, I suppose, a little bit of or slight issues around people coming into the team and coming into the club not quite hitting the ground completely running. There wouldn't have been a sending off and a suspension and all those things. So you'd love to, like you say, be able to name as close to the same, certainly back line, as virtually every game. We've not had the luxury to be able to do that, and there are people that have come in and we need to work with, we'll continue to work with, to understand and get more clear, I suppose, comprehension of what we want from them.
You brought Ryan Rydell off at half-time on Tuesday night. Was that a tactical decision, or was it because of an injury for him?
No, injury, unfortunately. Ryan made that run just before half-time and felt his quad. So he is not bad. It's a minor one, but he's probably going to be out for a week to 10 days. So again, certainly with how we'd performed in the first half, we wouldn't have been making changes, certainly, but we were forced into it. But I think John obviously came in and Kitch went into that slot and, to be fair, picked up the baton in terms of what we produced in the first half. So again, that was encouraging.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, good to see Will Collar and Akil Wright both back in training this week. Are either of them in contention for Saturday, or does that come too soon?
We'll see. Will is different to Aki, so we're waiting on Aki will have his bloods taken today. He's obviously done a week of training, he'll have his bloods taken today. We hope, touch wood, that that is clear and normal, if you like, for him, and we'll get the sign off tomorrow, which means that if we wanted to, that we could involve him on Saturday. He has only had a week of football, if you like, proper football training. Will's fine, so he's gone through all the necessary protocols around him coming off against Stevenage, has joined in all week, and is available if we need him. But certainly two additions that without doubt make us stronger, and whether it's the weekend or whether it's Tuesday, looking forward to the game at Port Vale, it'll be great to have them back involved.
Just speaking more on Akil, obviously county fans haven't had the chance to see him play yet, joining after a fantastic promotion-winning season at York. What do you think he'll bring to the team? What kind of profile midfielder is he?
The profile that we don't have, a profile that, reflecting and looking back on what this league has shown in the brief time we've been in it, will fit perfectly as I thought he would. So he can play obviously as a midfielder, could play as one of the centre backs. Is powerful, is dynamic, breaks play up, is comfortable enough on the ball, will get about the pitch, like I say, will break things up and will pass the ball easily. Something like I say that we don't have in terms of that type. We have good midfield players that are technically good on the ball. We maybe don't have that what we'd call destroyer type, and he's certainly that. So even in the sessions that he's been involved in, although potentially match fitness wise he's short, the signs are great in the fact that he's shown in little bursts and fits and starts why we brought him to the club, and really excited to get him back, and hopefully he can take the form and the bits that he's shown in training into football matches, and if he does, then we think he'll have a big impact on our squad.
Just going back to Swindon, obviously missing their top scorer Harry McCurdy after his suspension this week, but when you look at the squad, I mean, top scorers in League 2 last season, got their first win last week, and there's a lot of quality in their squad. There is,
and I've like I say, a certain way of playing that's not changed, even though the manager moved on in the summer. So they're a good side. They're expansive in the way they go about it. They take risks. They back themselves to be able to play. So it should be a good game. It sort of has all the makings of potentially a good game. Probably similar in the way that the Doncaster game did. Prior to a decision going against us, so we know that we've got to be at it. We've got to be good. But we're looking forward to the game. We know the threats that they pose, but we also look at things and think how we can cause them problems, and I certainly think we can in lots of areas.
And just finally, you're obviously at home the next 2 weekends now. I mean, the support you've had at Edgley Park has obviously made a big impact already this season. Do you see this as an opportunity now to maybe just start building up a head of steam? Yeah,
absolutely. Listen, the support, you would say, has had a big impact. For me, it hasn't had a big impact because we've not made it have a big enough impact on the pitch. Their support off the pitch has been unbelievable, and I can only thank them for that. As I said before last week's game, I feel that we owe them something because we haven't given them enough back. Not through the want to try. Listen, we've made mistakes. In no game have we not worked and not tried to do everything we can, but I just still have that overriding feeling. So hopefully Saturday will be an opportunity where we can thank them properly with 3 points, not just thank them with a clap around the stadium and thanking them for the support that way. And as we said last year, we need to make Edgeley Park a really, really tough place to come. I really believe we can do that. We do that by all having the same objectives, all working towards the same goal and all sticking together. And like I say, the support from Tuesday will be fantastic. There'll be a bounce over, no doubt, from then to the weekend. And hopefully what they'll see is a team that goes out there and produces the bare minimum of what we all expect. Hopefully on the back of that we can get a good performance, some goals and 3 points.
Dave, thanks for your time and all the best on Saturday.
Cheers, thank you.